I am Cyril Bandolo, AWS Machine Learning Hero from Cameroon, Sub-Saharan Africa. We are here mostly because we're AWS Heroes, which means at one point in time we've been using the cloud to create impact. Do you think the cloud has a bright future? Is it something which is really, without the cloud and with the cloud, do you think the cloud is really something? Why should we care about the cloud?
I'm really excited because I think, we're maybe 15 years into the cloud, and I think a lot of that first 10 years was moving previous level infrastructure onto the cloud and just sort of migrating that stuff, where now we're seeing core infrastructure that's being built for the cloud natively, and that takes advantage of the elasticity of the cloud, the sort of recoverability, the failover, all that sorts of things. So I'm excited. In the data space, some of the stuff we're seeing there is just really cool, I think.
Cloud makes compute accessible, and everyone, I could go to my notebook and spin up a GPU cluster with, 100 GPUs and train my model or get started. And that's nothing which companies had in the past ever. You have access to compute basically from everywhere around the world, which helps researchers and also companies to really get going with machine learning.
If you're talking about individuals, it's such a great way to sort of build your career, what's accessible with these serverless technologies that you can build cool stuff within the free tier and build your portfolio and show what you can do and get in the door at an actual company,
Imagine somebody who's taken certifications. Is there something you can advise somebody like that?
Certifications are great to sort of get your footing, but if you have some sort of project, something that you're interested in, and now you're going off the normal path, just following a tutorial, but you're actually solving your own problems, because that's what's going to happen at your job, right? There's something you're not going to know how to do. If you actually go through the work of figuring that out and do that, and now you've got a project also that can demonstrate your skills, and also be looking for employers that are willing to hire wherever you happen to be.
You build something which you think it's interesting or it could help people, and then normally your motivation is way higher. Building one cool end-to-end project or having more of a portfolio is definitely a good way to get started, because then you can show your skills and not only theoretical skills you had.
If you enjoy writing, you can also write that up. I know Philip's done that and it helped him get the job at Hugging Face. I've done that and had that help me in different ways. So if you're just sharing what you're learning, you're writing it, maybe you're making a video of it or something like that, that can be a good way to find your community and meet some people and get some interesting opportunities.
I want to be a data engineer. I heard of AWS. I'm motivated. I want to build the cloud as a data engineer. What are the steps I need to have? Zero.
Yeah.
I'm zero.
You're speaking my language here, because honestly, I went to school for something else. I went to law school. I was a lawyer, and my first job in tech was as a data engineer. So that's the exact path I took. I would say figure out what are sort of the tools and patterns used in that industry. I learned Python. I sort of did some data type work. I learned how AWS worked and some of that stuff. And if you can show those knowledge and show that knowledge, show those skills, I think that's going to help you. Try and hang out in the community of something you're particularly interested in and start making those connections.
Do you think a developer from Cameroon has a chance compared to maybe somebody from US, UK, Germany, Africa, Cameroon?
The hardest part probably would be language. So we are all speaking English, and if you are from Cameroon and if you are good at English, you will definitely find a job in Germany. But for example, mostly at an English-speaking company. If you really want to work at a globally or remote, you need to be good at the language the company speaks, and luckily mostly it's English. But other than this, I think there's no barrier to get a job, except for the way that you need to communicate with your colleagues probably.
But the tech world is big enough, the need is big enough that I think you can find some opportunities to do that. And like we've seen from Cameroon, you, Ro, two AWS Heroes, they're it's absolutely doable if you're into some of that stuff.
Thanks so much. Thanks for your time.